Hi everybody, welcome back to the farm. We're glad that you stopped by to see us today and check out our latest project. But before we get to that, it's a beautiful day out, the sun is shining. We still have been having a few kind of iffy, cold, wet, rainy days here recently. We're at the beginning of May, but the sun is out. We think it should be like this hopefully now, and we'll have a little more spring before that summer heat really hits. But you can see right next to me, our turkeys are out on pasture today with the chickens, the ducks, and the geese for the first time. We had them in one of our chicken tractors out on our big pasture that Dragon is panning over to now. And both of those tractors still have some chicks, about half that we hatched from our own brood here. And the turkeys are doing well. We have 5 white-breasted turkeys. 3 of them are right here. And we have 5 that are royal palm turkeys, those with the black on them. So this is our first time dealing with turkeys, looking forward to seeing how they grow out, how they interact with the rest of the flock. The white-breasted we are growing for food. Those are our Thanksgiving bird that we'll be growing. And if you've been following along and seeing all the things that we have planted in our market garden and in our kitchen garden, it's going to be a feast off the farmland come Thanksgiving this year. Really excited about that. So now let's get into today's project. It is going to involve trying to add a little bit of color here to the side of our garage. As we come along in, we can see that at some point it looks like there was a flower bed that was here, but there's so much of this crazy bindweed and things that are down there that nothing has come back, so we're not sure what might have been planted there. But you can see that the wood chips are there, and you can tell that something at some point lived there. Whenever the chickens are out, free-ranging, doing their things, this is one of their favorite spots also to come up and scratch. So hopefully we have a little bit of their homemade fertilizer that's also in there. But what we plan on doing to brighten up this spot and kind of get rid of all of this gray and just bland look is putting in some cannas. So we have 2 varieties, but I think we're only going to be focusing on placing the red ones down. This is the President, and this is the Wyoming Tika Yellow Princess, or Tika. So these are 2 that we saw that really caught our eyes. Again, these are from Longfield Gardens. Bought these at Costco. Dragon has mentioned in previous videos just what great luck and success we've had with this particular brand when we buy things from them. And so we are looking forward now to trying out these cannas in our garden here. So the President will grow to be
3 feet tall, I believe.
Yes, 3 feet tall. It's like blink twice for the context to adjust. So we'll hopefully get some nice height on these, maybe just below the windows that are here. If Dragon can come in and show you this canna here, we already have in our garden. We bought this one maybe 2 years ago, and we had it living in a pot back in Maryland. It never did that well for us there. When we got it here, it put on some really great blooms in late fall. And just a week or 2 ago, Dragon went through and divided this one up, and we now have that one planted in front of our fireplace garden there up against the house. So this should come up nicely in their new home. Right, Dragon?
Yes, sir.
All right. So focusing on the President here, getting this red color that will kind of help bring a little bit of life right here to the back side of the house on the back of the garage. First thing we need to do is kind of start peeling back some of this bindweed and really maybe expanding this little growing space a little bit. We have the tiller that's out. Dragon is the tiller man. He's the tiller machine. So we are going to start working on that, and you can join us here as we move along.
All right, so first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna try the rakes, but this bindweed is just so much tangled with everything. So we're gonna set the tiller to a low depth and try to do a 1 pass and see how that goes. So we have this drain pipe, but I just looked at it, it goes a couple of feet down. We also have a frost-free hydrant over there on the other side, so there should be a couple of feet down, so it should not interfere with any tilling. But we only gonna probably extend the flower bed most likely to somewhere here till end of this shutter. Well, let's turn on the tiller and see how it goes. This is Victory
Earthquake
Victory by Viper, isn't it? Right? 212 cc's. Pretty good for our needs. So. As you can see, the bindweed is just insane. Just vigorous grower. It's really hard to eradicate. It tangles up with the blades. Gonna have to keep an eye on the blades. Probably gonna have to do several passes just to get this area somewhat workable. Kevin mentioned earlier, it looks like it was a flower bed there, but I don't think that anything was there planted for quite some time. So I'm gonna clean this up, maybe change the depth to make it a little bit deeper, and do it again. Do that a couple of times.
Trying to take out this bindweed was a bigger task than we expected it to be. Dragon had to go through tilling at least 3 different times, and you saw we also took out the metal rakes and kind of pulled it away from the wall, and then I was trying to help. We had to do some hand pulling, we had to do some pulling with the iron rakes, we had to do some tilling. So it's not always easy to achieve kind of that beautiful look that you want. And unfortunately, a lot of these roots are so deep down in there that we just couldn't get to them. So it's going to be a matter of us just coming in here and pulling some weeds every now and again, and we see it to keep it from getting out of control and overtaking kind of this area and getting back to that rough shape that it was in. You saw Dragon a couple times. Those two had to kind of pull all of this away from the tiller, but you can just see what we've been dealing with here. And this is just a nuisance, is a nice way to put it. So we've got this out. We're probably going to also end up losing the top layer of this soil here as we get ready to pop those cannas in. So we're going to move on now to the next phase of prepping this area.
So wow, that took some back-breaking work. So we got most of the area cleaned. We got 2.5 now wheelbarrows of bindweed out to the chicken run. They're enjoying the bindweed buffet. You can come over there. Quite enjoying that. They're dusting off. They should shake off most of the dirt off the roots, and that will kill the bindweed. So now what's left to do, we are going to rake up this area. So I already kind of raked up the excess dirt and the stuff that we didn't want to back in the flower bed. We raked it up out. Kind of looks messy right now, but grass will grow right through this within next week or so, and will be like it was never there. So now I'm just going to rake this up, pick up any more roots that are there, like this. All of this has to come out because this will just spread like wildfire, like they say. Just go down the line like this, rake up everything, and then we're going to measure. How many cannas do we have, Kelly?
12.
12. And then measure out to see what the spacing will be for them, and get them into the ground. That red canna will contrast really nicely up against this white grayish siding.
We went ahead now and measured our space so that we can know how far apart we want to plant each canna bulb. We're dealing with about 24 feet-ish or so of space here, which would mean for the 12 that we have, we would need 13 to kind of evenly space them and fill up that entire space. So we're going to plant about 23 feet, maybe a little bit more, and space the cannas every 2 feet as we put them into the ground. So let's take a look at some of the root systems here. Another reason we wanted to go ahead and get these in is because they were really kind of starting to push through and develop. Like you can see here, just opening up this pack. Gently take out some of these bulbs. Probably
They might have a rubber band on them too. Nope.
Oh, we may, other thing too that we've been noticing, which has been really nice with this particular brand, Longfield Gardens, is you may get some extra bulbs. So we didn't consider that either. So we may have to do some readjusting, like this may or may not
might
be
have some rotten too. So
yeah, this is a viable
that's
stem here. So we've already gained one extra just from this, but easy to see how these will be planted. The roots are clearly telling you growth point is right here. On this one too, even this small one that I just pulled off, you can see even though the roots are right here at the side, you see that growth point right at the top that's getting ready to push through. So we have those two. Have this one starting to again push out some growth here, and you can see kind of the spreading effect too that these will have. This is old growth here, probably from last year when they went in and got these and prepared them for packaging. Actually, see there's two.
So you can technically split that.
Yeah, two new growth points here. So
split it right here.
May get scissors and do that, and then we can kind of readjust our measuring once we get them all out. But there's supposed to be 6 in each one, so that's 2. This is another really good looking one here. Although this one's a little too close to split. So that should have been 3 in that one and 3 in this one. These are from
it's 6 total. I'm
6 total.
12.
Yeah,
Okay. It's
6,
12 between 2 bags.
This is bag number 2 from package number 1. And then here these are a little more tangled up. Let's go ahead and pull those apart. Here again, root system at the bottom, kind of growth point here. You can see that green where the canna is going to pop through at the top. This one looks like, yeah, probably looks like at least 2 or 3 that are here. So here's one here.
That's a growth point right here.
And another one on this side. So go down here or split those down the center if we wanted to. Here, definitely easy to split this one, especially how much space we have here in between to make 2 separate plantings out of that one. So out of this first pack, we have 1, I would say 2 here. Yes.
Yep.
So that's 3. 2 here. That's 5. 2 here. That's 7. 8. 9.
And 10.
So there you go. So that's 4 extra cannas just out of a 6-pack of canna. So again, we didn't really think about that. We've really been lucking out with this brand. again, being able to divide and get way more bulbs than what are actually being in there. Let's check out bag number 2. See what these 2 packages on the inside have. These are already looking nice and healthy. This one's a little more compact, so let's try to shake through here.
It's one. There you go.
And
2 and 3. We don't have to divide them. Yeah.
So that's the 3 out of this bag. 1, 2, 3. 3 strong looking bulbs there. And this is bag number 2, which should have at least 3 bulbs in it. And let's see if there are any in here that are large enough or easily dividable. So here's just one. But again, new growth that's starting out there. Two here. And one more. There you go. So these look like we'll probably just plant these whole. So 16 total, because we have the 10 here from that first batch, the 4 extra once we go through and separate a couple of the bulbs, and then this pack that had the original 6, we'll go ahead and stick with that. So now that we know we have 16 bulbs total to deal with, we can go back through, do some remeasuring, and then redesign where we plan on planting each one of them.
So with 16 cannas, with 16 roots, that gives us 40 space here. So that gives us spacing every 18 inches, which is pretty good. Suggested spacing is 10 inches, which seems a bit odd because cannas like to spread and they spread quickly. So I think that 10 inches apart would be really, really tight. Even this is going to be full quite quickly. But I think it's going to look really nice. We forgot to mention this is southwest facing side. So this is going to be full sun all day long. Maybe just probably east is kind of down this way. So probably in the morning, first couple of hours of the morning, they will be shaded. But most of the day, especially that harsh sun in the afternoon, it will definitely be good for these cannas. Cannas like that, so they can handle it as long as they're provided good amount of water. So we're gonna put some Espoma Hollytone fertilizer in each hole, just a little bit, and then we're also going to finish this flower bed with the compost that we've been using on most of our stuff. So I'm just gonna put a touch of Hollytone into each hole. This is a slow release fertilizer. We use Hollytone often because it's very easy to get. Costco and BJ's usually have a great deal. This is what, 28-pound bag, right?
Yeah, 28 pounds.
This is the largest bag that they have, I believe. But at Costco is, I believe, 16, 17 bucks for this bag. Versus Home Depot is, I think, twice as that, 35 or close to 40 bucks.
And so, it's a smaller bag.
And it's a smaller bag too. So, there we are. So now we're gonna place. Oh, we haven't divided them yet. So let's do some dividing. I know Kevin showed you guys earlier, but we can just do actual dividing right here. Let's find a very good example.
I think they were all on this side over here. All the.
Oh, this is a good one here, right here. So this is last year's growth right here. You don't need to cut that, but that's where the canna was last year. And that's how cannas spread. The root spreads. It almost looks like a ginger root. Root spreads. And then there are these growth points on each root. So there are 2 here. There are 2 here. What we can do now is just split this right on half, like so. There's actually a tiny bitty growth point that I didn't notice right here, but we can group this together. See any other growth points here? There's one more here that's coming up. Do this way right here. So we have this growth point there, and there's a growth point right here. Yeah, these two are easy. There are a growth point there, a growth point there. Just gonna split it right on half. This one here has two growth points right here on this big root. And you can actually feel it if you go over it, kind of feel this knob. There's double growth point here, there's double growth point there. There's another one right here. So we can split this right through here. Now we have two cannas. All right, let's put them in the ground. So we're gonna put this cut side down, like so. And that is it. With this one, as you can see, it already wants to grow up that way. So we're just gonna place it like that as well. All right, next root, same thing. This was the cut that we made. So you're gonna put that down. And then you have those two growth points that will shoot up fairly soon. Another whole root with two growth points. Just gonna put that right there, like that. Another cut with two growth points. Put that in right there. This is two small roots that we're gonna put together. Right there. Now we'll get the rest. Rest is pretty much repetitive. Just like this. Find the growth points and make sure that it's facing up and you're good to go. So all it's left to do now is just to bury these up. You can bury them with your hands, like so, or just rake them up. We put them a little bit deeper because we're planning on leaving these in the ground, and see, mulch them up good and see if they come back. I believe they're zone 7 or 8. I think zone 7, we are zone 7A, so they should be okay. Can't wait to see this fully grown. It'll probably take a few months, but it's definitely gonna look nice. So here we are. One thing that Kevin and I decided to do, we have some extra marigolds that we started from seeds that are looking very nice. This is Queen Sophia variety. We'll pop up description of it on the screen. Really nice healthy root system. They should be blooming in probably 2 weeks if weather stays this way. But we're gonna pop them up front. They have a nice kind of dark red and dark yellow color, similar to French marigold. But we'll put these every probably 12 inches. They only grow 12 inches tall and about 12 inches wide, so they are nice low bush. We love marigolds. They're also good protectors. They're deer resistant too, and they have if you mesh the leaf, they have a certain scent to them that deer don't like. They're also great in your garden as well. So, all right, let's put those in quick, and then we're going to mulch everything up with compost.
As my dad would say, farming ain't easy. But we are really looking forward to what this will turn out to be later on this summer. It's already looking 10 times better than it did at the beginning of this project. Those Queen Sophia marigolds, again, like Dragon mentioned, should be blooming here soon. So we're already going to get a little bit of color and really start to see the transformation along this wall before those cannas pop up. And then once those cannas come with those big, beautiful leaves, and then those red buds start to open, you won't even recognize this place. So we are looking forward to just kind of seeing how that progresses. Great thing is that there's a hydrant that's already here, so it'll be easy for us to keep this well watered, and then just kind of sit back and watch the transformation unfold. That's going to wrap up another project here for us today, a super grueling one that required a lot of elbow grease. So now we want to go inside and cool off with some cold lemonade or cold water.
Or Gatorade for some people.
Or Gatorade. Dragon loves his Gatorade.
I love my Gatorade, yes indeed. Took us what, 2 hours maybe?
Yeah, in the heat of the day, because that's what we do. We start projects like this when the sun is blazing hot.
But on the other hand, you know, for the weeds, it's good to do it in the middle of the heat, because that kind of kills off any exposed roots, so they're usually harder to come back. So.
And the other thing was this spot was amazingly dry, considering that we had a full weekend of rain, like 2.5 days of nonstop rain. So this, either the rain didn't penetrate just because of where this spot is, or it dried out quickly enough because of all that bindweed.
Definitely something to keep in mind for cannas. Keep them watered. So, well, thank you all for following along. Come back and definitely see an update of the area.
See you guys again soon. Remember to stay safe out there.
Thank you.